Woo! Well,
what? I know.
I was like,
I know. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the show.
What's up, yeah? Totally.
It's cold, huh?
Oh, it's totally cold.
All right, so go like this.
No, it's more
There
like
you
that.
go.
Yeah, you gotta
Perfect.
get the.
There you go.
Totally. Got my
Totally.
toque. Got my toque on.
Yeah.
Needed a toque because it was
Hey.
so frigid.
See?
It's like being on the tundra.
¿Cómo es? ¿Sí?
No, it's Canada. It's the other direction.
¿Cómo? ¿Cómo? What?
Como eh?
¿Cómo? What? Eh? Yeah, just like that. Exactly. That was good.
Take off, hoser. You're gonna have some fat back. Oh yeah. Don't you know? Yeah, for sure.
¿Sí? Puebla? Mexico?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are we walking like an Egyptian now? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Saturday night. I hope you guys are cocked, locked, and ready to rock. I have my toque on. This is my gift. This is the hosers gave me this before I left. They're like, along with a bunch of other stuff that, unfortunately, some of it didn't make it into the suitcase. But dang it, I tried. The guys at TSA got a can of maple syrup because I wasn't thinking and I was really too tired. Nice toque, eh? Yeah, for sure. Totally dig it. Canada. Yeah. Okay, maybe one of you guys can explain to me. I don't understand what these are for. I mean, I guess you do this. Is this what this is for? I mean, that's like, yeah.
Is it when it's too cold, you just kill yourself?
I mean, yeah, totally. Yes, like, exactly. You got a built-in. Yeah, it's like.
That's it. It's too cold.
I got killed by my toque.
Toque?
Toque. Hey, it could be Turk. Could be toque. I don't know. Maybe so you could do this. Look like tied around the thing on the top here.
Oh, what about if you put it like a two?
I could do like this. Now I can look like a Russian. Das vidanya, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show.
Look like a Russian. Yeah.
Today we are going to teach you how to drink the vodka. My accent sucked, but that's all right. I recently watched some of your older videos. When can we expect you two to bring back super cheesy intros? Never. We will never bring back super cheesy intros. Those were a lot of fun. I enjoyed them a lot. Those.
I can't do it because
it's fine. There's too much stuff going on. But no, I miss doing those. Those were a lot of fun. Remember?
Yeah, but we got so much hate from.
Oh, dude, the heat we got for those was off the chain.
Yeah.
If you ever go read any of those comments, Jesus.
Oh, I mean, and they were nice. They were funny.
We had a good time. We spent more time worrying about that. One of the things that's funny about those is like I used to David Letterman style throw. Most people don't know who he is. Throw the owner's manuals or throw the cages. Oh my God, the amount of just like, these guys suck. It's like, chill out, dude. It's a pack of paper. No one is going to. We're in a Canadian hat in Florida. Isn't that cheesy enough? It's totally cheesy, right?
Yeah.
And it's very hot. Haley goes, "You're not going to wear that for the whole show." And I go, "Are you out of your mind? How can I wear this for the whole show? I mean, there's no way."
So what you need to do is grab your phone, take a picture right now, and send it to them.
You do realize, like, we're recording this live, and then
no. I know, but they're probably not gonna see it, so they can watch it right now. She can
watch it whenever she wants. It's okay, bro. It's okay.
Yeah.
Nice day at Disney. 75 degrees. Very nice.
Oh wow.
That is very nice. Live from the zoo. Yeah. Hola. Is the AC on high blast? No, I wish it was. It's actually, this is quite hot. Speaking of AC, who caught the AudioControl is now shipping the Mexican edition of the Epicenter, and we still don't have ours. I'm not saying that, by the time we get ours to talk about with you guys, you won't be able to get them anymore.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
I mean, let's just move on. Speaking of moving on, I didn't want to move on with that one. This one, right? Oh, hold on. That. Nope, that right. Oh my God, forget it. It's not even worth it. It's this one here.
Perfect.
Hey, Moscone Gladen. They have a new product that just came out. Some of you guys may have heard of. It's called Barney. Have you heard of the Barney?
Of course, it's gonna give you hugs and love.
Yes, I love you, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
This is Barney, that very THX 1138 head there in the center of the page. This was from the CMA Expo. They were doing Barney demos. Barney plugs into their DSP and gives all the cool controls because microphones in the ears. There's a whole bunch of technology behind it. Now, the really cool thing is we just found out is that Knowledge Fest Orlando, which is coming up in June, April, May, coming up in May. Sorry, coming up in May.
Okay.
We'll be there with Orca, which means we'll be there with Moscone Gladen. And we're hoping to get Nick Wingate to give us, or Sage, whoever, to give us a full video so that we can talk to you guys about Barney. But Barney is going to be the new standard in which to set the Gladen Moscone DSPs for ultimate accuracy. It's a pretty exciting piece. So stay tuned for more on that. But in the meantime, if you'd like to hurry up and buy your DSP so that you can then have it set by Barney, head over to moscone-america.com and check out some of the new products they have. They have a new 6 to 10 as well as the Pro 830. Oh,
beautiful piece.
My God. You benchmark an amazing DSP amplifiers. Check that one out. Wearing a Canadian hat in Florida. Yeah, I know, right? All right, hold on. Let me get this. I'm pulling this one up. What do you think about connecting LED light strips to your subwoofers so that the lights pulse with the music? Seems potentially dangerous and bad for the amp. What's your take? I don't think it's any of those things as far as like bad for the amplifier. I mean, some of those LEDs, like some of the LEDs will just bounce the music. Like they have sensors built into them to do that. I think that's a better move, is getting something like that as opposed to connecting them and hoping to use the DC that comes out of there. Like that seems like a bad idea. I wouldn't do that. Like you don't want to turn on a light bulb all the time. I'm not saying you can't because it will, but just getting LEDs that pulse to the music, like we've been doing that for years. I think more of the problem is like if you're driving down the road and it's, you know, you got music lights flashing out of the back of your car. I would definitely reserve that for parking lots only. Okay.
All right, hang on.
Okay.
Thank you, man. Again.
Yeah, right? Triple Dog Dairy to look at phone pole. Yeah. But no, it's a really cool hat, but it's really hot and it's not cold enough here to wear it. I wanted to wear it there, but I thought that would be way too cheesy. So they did give me, which I ate most of them when I was there, were these little cones. They were little like cones, like ice cream cones.
Okay.
And they were filled. They were like this tall, so it was just like the bottom half of the cone. It was a wedge cone, and it was filled with maple syrup. And then on top of it was like a caramel maple syrup, so it sealed off the top, so the liquid wouldn't get out. And like you kind of like ate the whole thing in like 1 bite or 2 bites, and it was just like this super thick maple syrup.
Wow!
So basically, I think it would like be good in coffee,
just like a drink.
Drop it into a coffee or something would probably be cool. But I just ate it like it was candy. And you know, you got that like amazing, crazy. Doug, I need to talk to you. I have an idea about Orlando and Tori. I was going to call you today, but I don't like calling people on Saturday because it's kind of rude. So I don't remember what day you're leaving. So maybe Monday I'll call you. But let me put it this way. We'll have Haley's car at the event in the parking lot for Orlando. And we got this cool Tori box sitting right here that's supposed to go into her car. I'm sure you can put 2 and 2 together and figure out what I want to do with the camera.
Yeah.
Next stop, Clearwater. I hope to see you both this week. I hope to see you too, Mel. I mean, even if we're, just stop by, man. If they give you a free 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Call me anytime. I will. I'll call you Monday, but you kind of get where I'm going with that. I think it could be fun. I have the idea in my head, so of what I want to shoot. So I think it'd be really neat.
That would be nice. Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah. Give it to me.
Okay. All right, hang on.
I got a couple stars.
I know. I got a couple stars too.
Okay.
I got 5 actually.
All right. I'm ahead. We can do that and the Pro window kit. Oh, slow it down on the Pro window kit. I'm not gonna have that there. But yes, I have a set of Focal K2s, 4-inch, to go into my 96 SC300 with a ported door pod. Should I keep the ported sealed pod or open the back into a door cavity. I would keep the ported pod. I think the ported pod will be fine. But make sure the pod is robust. Like you might want to add some sound treatment to the pod. That's typically what we do is like make it more rigid because this is probably going to move a little bit more air than the factory one. But these are made for chambers of air. So, I mean, you're probably going to get the best results out of the ported enclosure as opposed to just a big airframe. But it's one of those things that it's easy enough to open up the backside of it if it doesn't work off. But sealed is definitely not going to be the way because it's going to need more air than you're going to get out of it sealed.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, can optical outsend clip signal to DSP? Oh, isn't that a great question? Doug, are you still listening? That would be a great. Can an optical out send a clip signal to a DSP? This is a good Doug question because I feel the answer is yes. Because like if your source unit, so the other thing too is let's say you're recording. Because like if you recorded some of the crappy recordings that just record music that's clipped, the door pod is very solid. Cool, saves time. But I'd say under certain situations the answer would be
yes.
Yes, but you're saying no, it cannot. I don't know. I've done no testing on this to see, and I'd have to ask some of my engineer friends that know way more about this than I do. So, but that's a good question.
That's good.
I know Doug would have the answer because that's his thing.
Okay.
We're not saying look, we know optical does not clip.
All right.
But
so
it's a matter of can it pass a clip signal? So it definitely shouldn't, but you can overdrive the signal it sends it out.
Yeah.
Which So
it's possible.
So all right, let's think about it for a minute. Digital is nothing more than ones and zeros. So it's not like it's a gain issue.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be in the decoding somewhere. So I guess if we're saying from the decoder to the decoder, it's just bits. So it's not like I can put a clip signal through a US, you know what I mean? So bitwise, no, because it's not like you, but once it's decoded, like you said, you can turn the gain up, so to speak, because on most amplifiers, they have to gain up that output. So somewhere in there, but you're asking it to do more. Because there's a preamp somewhere that is decoding the bits to make them an analog sound again. So, square optical waves, totally.
That's great.
But I mean, yes, I get it. It's ones and zeros. So, I mean, from creating ones and zeros to outputting ones and zeros. But there again, I said if you record something that's distorted, it's just going to turn it into 1 to zeros, and it's going to play it distorted on the other end, I would assume, right? Mm-hmm. I think most of the distortion comes after the decoding is done on either end.
After or before?
No, after. I think it'd be after. I know the digital, the key input is digital. Not digital in this sense, but it has a digital gain section, and if it sees any distortion at all, it won't let you, it'll fail. So you can clip that input, not like this, but I guess we're just dealing with ones and zeros. The ones and zeros, whatever, garbage in, garbage out. So Joseph, it's Joseph Norton. Okay.
Yes.
Joseph Norton of Museway.
Yes,
overdrive the signal from the optical would be after the input stage, not from the optical itself. Full volume from the source would only be 0 dB on optical, which is kind of what I'm saying, is that I think it's done after the fact. So, and distortion is not necessarily clipping. True that. We often confuse the two because they're very similar and the end result is crap. So we'll play along. We'll go for that. All right. So I think to summarize, the answer is, Doug's chiming in. Right. You can send a clip signal through an optical. The optical signal itself wouldn't be clipped. I hope you guys are following along with this because like these guys are typing overtime on their devices right now, and these are two really smart guys. So
yeah.
For one, thanks guys for playing along. Edward Norton of Museway and Doug Dobson of HKI, formerly of many other companies. So he's worked for two of the most prestigious DSP companies out there. You know, if you think about it, that's pretty scary. Way to go, Doug! You and your awesome resume. But there we go. Thanks, guys.
And the shorts.
And the shorts. Expects with
Sometimes.
AC/DC, which for some reason always sounds better with more distortion. Yeah, except for AC/DC. 100%. Way to change it. Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
Why would we want an IRTA3? Oh, optical. We actually, you can do that. You can actually use an IRTA3 with a
IRTA2.
IRTA2 with an external optical device. If you watched the video we did with the Brax system in the Porsche, we used the IRTA2 with our optical to RCA converter to test the signal. So we've already done it.
You need the pieces for sure.
You do need some pieces, but to build an optical already in it would require a power supply. So yeah, that would have to be like.
That's pretty neat. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, why not? I kind of want one now.
Yeah.
Damn. All right. That'd be expensive. God damn, that'd be like a $500 tool, people.
But what is not? Like most of the things are $500. Like the IRTA2 right now is probably the cheapest.
Oh, it is the cheapest RTA.
Electrical RTA that you can get.
So if we added fiber optic to it, that would be pretty cool. Just showing people how to add fiber optic to it in the first place would be pretty cool.
Yes.
Now we'll have to make that video.
So, what are you talking? For the people that they say, what is the IRTA2? Hang on, right there.
This is the IRTA2.
That's the IRTA2. Electrical 2-channel. It's
RTA.
Awesome. Buy it. DNF tooldrawer.com.
How did you get into car audio? I lost a bet. Really, what it comes down to, I lost a bet.
Yeah.
No. How did you get into car audio?
I didn't have money, so I had to do something. I'm working, and
by the way, he didn't realize today was April 1st. I'm just saying. What
does it matter?
Because I had such.
No, for sure. Hey, man, that was great. You never told me the plans, so I was.
You just weren't listening.
I know.
It was funny. I did talk to Jason from WaveTech this past week, very briefly in passing. Congratulated him on the design of the amplifiers.
Who?
Jason.
Oh yeah.
From WaveTech.
Yeah.
Very nice design on the amplifiers. We have not had the time, or we haven't got a chance to play with them yet. But if they ever consider letting us do that, you'll be the first to know, because I like the idea that they're small, little, powerful amplifiers. So.
Somebody actually probably asked him that he has. What do you think the 500.1?
Yeah,
amplifier?
Exactly.
Yeah. So
I want to run an IRT. I only need it for a week. Willing to pay $7,500. I'm sure you can find somebody. What's up, High Five?
What's up, man?
I want to say, can you guys make a new DSP live video for AudioControl like your previous ones, but focus on the tuning portion of it? I learned so much watching the video and would love to see a new one.
Focusing what?
On the tuning portion.
On the tuning portion. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we'll add it to the list.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know, but I think that's a no. But I've never read the specs to find out. Yeah, couldn't tell you. Okay. 2019 4Runner JBL sound system. How difficult will it be to replace door dash and rear lift speaker? Oh, replacing the speakers is easy. Getting them to sound good, that's a whole nother story. If you've got the JBL system and the only thing you're planning on doing is replacing the speakers, the only advice I can give you is don't do that. Don't do that at all, because it's going to sound worse. And you say, well, why would it sound worse? The speakers in there suck. Yes, but the speakers in there are optimized for the system that is in there. JBL don't play around, kids. As bad as it sounds, they're like, this is ours, don't touch.
It's a lot of engineering.
A lot of engineering went in to make it sound that bad. So don't think that you can just go in there and slap some new speakers in it and it's going to sound great. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
If you really want to improve the sound, like make it stop, please. New DSP amplifier to replace their DSP amplifier. You can do that via an Amp Pro or an AR. AR-wise, you have several things to choose from, like this PSM Pro sitting right here from ARC Audio that just came out that is iData compatible. So you can AR this right into that 2019 4Runner. Or you can do DSR1. You can go with Amp Pro from PAC. It gets your RC outputs, then add in a new amplifier with a DSP, and then replace the speakers all you want. But if you're just planning on new speakers, just leave it alone because you won't be happy.
All right.
And then we'll have to have that conversation.
I wasn't listening. Did you mention Addison?
No, I didn't.
Oh, there you go.
Because Audison also has new AR compatibility. So all the Forza equipment is now AR compatible.
Perfect.
So
I was just reading here and I'm like, he's talking about
Yeah, no,
AR.
I forgot about
Perfect.
Audison. Yeah, Audison is AR. So now we have AR compatible now, unlike previous where we just had DSR1s. We now have the PSM Pro, which I gotta be honest with you, is probably the smallest, coolest AR DSP on the market. Oh yeah, PSM Pro. This thing is so cool.
PSM.
I can open the box. I can kill the screen.
Okay.
Do
you know what PSM stands for?
No, I have no idea. Not a clue. But this little guy here. So this is the new little ARC 8-channel DSP. So it's 6 in, 8 out, coax, digital in. Has all these cool little doors right here. One of those is for AR. So you need an AR module that's going to plug into this. How that differs from a DSR1, just for you, me and the fence post, is the DSR1 actually has the AR board built into it. So that would be it's a little bit bigger. ARC didn't want to do that because then it would add the cost of that into this, whether you're going to use it or not. Some cases you're not going to need it. So AR plugs into this. Now, if you don't want to use it as an AR, you can use it as a standalone. Another thing too is it's a USB-C.
There you go. That's what comes. That's like. That's what it says right there.
Yeah, get into the USB-C. Yeah. So one of the coolest things. So for those of you guys that have ever done DSP, there's only been one cable that is worthy of a DSP, and that's a printer USB cable. Nobody uses those. They all use crappy micro USBs, and those things suck. So this has a USB-C that you can plug in, and I'm holding it from the USB-C cable, and I'm swinging it from the USB-C cable. Okay. There is not a DSP with a USB micro crappy that you could do this with. You'd be lucky to have it stay in while you're tuning the car.
Yeah,
like,
correct.
I can't tell you how many times it's like, oh, crap, we lost connection. Oh, why? Because my USB adapter sucks. So this is designed to actually be left in, because it doesn't take up any room. Like, look at that. It's so sexy. So even the cable, even the USB cable, the most trivial thing ever, they put thought into. Now, the only thing that they are going to fix, and I talked to them about it yesterday, is this. They're going to fix. They didn't realize that you know, that should have been staggered. So they're like, yeah, that's a good idea. So they'll fix that for me. So I'll be happy. One of the other cool things about this is it has a trigger. Putting the Blackbird in my 2022 Ram, should I go Amp Pro or AR? There again, it does AR. Just do AR. Plug the AR in. There's no reason to have extra things. Plus, if you do AR, you get to take the factory amplifier out, which means you get all the room. Now, if you don't have an Alpine system in there, it'll still work the same way. It'll reflash the radio. It does all the cool AR stuff. But yes, this cool little thing here is so that you can have 2 DSP settings and easily switch between the two. So whatever you want to use as a trigger, you can trigger it. So like in my car, because I have a convertible, I could have it for top up and top down. I wouldn't because I'm lazy, but you can, and that's all that matters. Yeah, so very cool harness here. But yeah, so this is really nice. I'm super excited about it. Small, compact.
Nice, nice.
And if you guys haven't seen the ARC software, and that's what we'll have Brian on to talk about again, is that you get all pass filters, you get high shelf, low shelf, parametric, every single it's the full heavy-duty software that is on all their equipment is on this little tiny box. It's not some scaled down. So yeah, the company up there had a really small one with a huge. This is even smaller, and this one's AR. So I wish I was an ARC dealer. Okay, sorry, went down that road. Hey guys, it's been a while. Do you have any options for behind the seat sub-enclosure 2022? Actually, we do not, but yes, they do exist. MTI Acoustics makes one, so you can contact Chris Pate over at Mobile Toys. Just type in MTI Acoustics, and they do have a box for behind the seat now. It goes on the passenger side. You do need to make some room for it, like remove the carpet and stuff. But yes, and I believe they sell it loaded and unloaded because there's only certain subs that'll will fit in the box. So yes, they do make them now. So give them a look.
Okay.
So all right, hold on. I want to answer this. So, all right, go ahead. How many feet of 4-gauge wire to go from battery to amplifier in an 18 F-150 screw going to run power wire on driver's side?
Ooh.
Are you not going to go down the driver's side?
Screw going to.
So we always go down the driver's side because the passenger side sucks. So we always mount our amplifiers where the factory amplifier goes. And from that side up to the battery, it needs 19 feet.
All right, so let me tell you why it's hard.
Yeah.
Because on the side of the passenger side, you still have the AC, the HVAC, and the corner, and it's really hard to get a 0 gauge if you're gonna do, I don't know, two amplifiers, even a 4 gauge, power and ground. It's hard to get it. If you're able to do it, perfectly fine.
Keep in mind, it's coming from somebody who does it all the time.
But for me, I'm like, that's what I say. Screw that going to the passenger side. I'm going to the driver's side and then cross it because it's so much easier. But if you got the time,
yeah,
and it's safer, right? If you have the time, go for it. Yeah. I use 20 feet for the driver's side. So you're probably going to
be the same, depending
yeah,
on where because if you cut it in half from corner to corner,
yeah,
I mean it'd be a little less, but if you mount the amp there,
I still use the 20 feet just to be safe.
It's Phantom Chris in the house.
Who?
What's up, Phantom Chris? Hoping you come by. Yes, hang out with Mel. We'll all hang out. We'll do like the Texas thing.
You're missing out, bro. You can be here.
I ran 2 4-gauge. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
In my 2022, I used a rear seat console box. Okay.
Why not?
Cool. All right. Where was that one that Baba?
Okay.
That one.
All right.
Not that one, but
yeah.
if you have a customer that's looking for an affordable, budget-friendly upgrade from the factory, what are some brands that you guys like to run with? It's a large size candy jar of different options today. Ooh. All right. So good question. What are some of the more affordable alternatives to car audio that we use on a daily, so to speak, or weekly as it is? AudioControl being one of them. If you're looking for affordable DSP amplifiers, they are there. Another fan favorite of mine is anything that Kenwood makes in the Exelon line.
Yeah. The
Kenwood Exelon stuff is probably the unsung hero of the install bay as far as I'm concerned, because they're 5-channel amps. They make 2. The amount of power and performance you get out of them for the price, ain't nothing going to touch them. Their speakers sound amazing for the money.
Yep.
And they have a really awesome subwoofer enclosure that I totally dig. So from...
What other one?
That's what I was getting to.
Okay. I'm sorry.
If you're looking for exotic brands, Morel has their entry-level speaker line that we talk about, the HEs.
The HEs, yeah.
So the 6.5s.
Maximo
6.5 HE component set. There again, price, performance, value, crazy.
Yeah.
Focal has Auditor. Auditor makes a 4-channel amplifier that can be configured into many different options. So like you could do 2 of those, one to run the Auditor 6.5 tweeter components, coaxials in the rear, get a second one to power up some subs. So there's plenty there. But there's 3 very budget-minded some exotic, some normal, but we run a lot of that.
Yes, for sure. All right.
Why no AudioControl on the list? And so what he was referring to is AR. Why is AudioControl not on the AR list? That's actually a simple answer. They were trying to be on the AR list, and I think on the wall over there we might even have the dongle that they created to do AR compatibility. Last April, they were bought by Amp Global. Amp Global makes the Amp Pro. There's no reason for them to, as we would say, double dip, meaning they're not going to pursue AR compatibility when they already have the Amp Pro available for them to use. So that whole project was one of the things that just got dropped because of being owned by a company that makes a competitive product, thus negating any more effort having to be put into that. So that is why AudioControl is not on the list for AR.
Right. And yes, that's exactly right.
The latest firmware beta has parametric. It does, and it's quite sexy.
It is nice. It is
I like it a lot.
They added some. They add a few features like OPAS filters and the parametric EQ, like you're talking about. So
supposedly it runs better on my Mac. Oh, that's
it doesn't kill you Mac exactly.
This one does, but yeah, this one actually kills everything that it runs.
One of the cool things about this software now is as soon as you plug it in, you don't have to wait for the green light. It actually tell you what product you are connected. So that was great. I really like that one.
This might be the old software.
Yes. Because
I had to do that. Yeah, this is the old software. Yeah, that's the old one.
Okay, so let me find another question for you.
Well, what I was going to say is thank you, AudioControl, being a proud sponsor of the show. Heading over to, not that one. That was pretty cool. Heading over to Dean's laptop. One of the cool devices that AudioControl now has available with summer fast approaching is their new Bluetooth controller with preamp. It has 6 channels of preamp compatibility, which means that you can have front zone, rear zone, you do front rear sub, you can have all kinds of control. And it color changes to let you know what is going on. So if you're going to put this in a boat or any other vehicle, you have master volume control, and then you have individual volume controls for each preamp output, and they're color coded, which makes things pretty awesome. If you're interested in adding something like this, this is the ACX BT3. There's one hanging on the box right above my head. It's a really awesome piece. Can be paired up great with their new 6-channel marine amplifier. I'm sorry, multi-sport amplifier. Off-road,
all terrain,
yeah, you name it, it's there. So check it out. Yeah, all right, go on.
All right,
give me what you got.
All right, what's the best amplifier with built-in DSP to go front stage full active for Hertz Mini Pros 163? It's a 3-way set. Front doors on an F-150 2013. Anything but JL audio.
Well, that's pretty easy. So here's the caveat to this. How many channels do you actually want? Okay, so why I say that is, for example, AudioControl makes the 61200. It's a 6-channel amplifier. They make it in the LC, they make it in the D. The LC is just 6x1200. It's got 6 inputs, 6 outputs. Boom. They make the D61200, which has 8 inputs, 6 outputs, and a secondary output, 2 channels to go to something else. What that means is that if you wanted to run front, tweeter, mid bass, and then go out to a subwoofer through that single set of RCAs, you could. But if you wanted to go out to a rear speakers and sub amp, you can't, because it's not designed to do that. In that case, you do like an 810 and the LC 61200. Other amplifiers that are capable of doing that are plentiful. So Audison has the new Forza line of amplifiers, and they make 8 to 12. So it's a Forza 812. That means it has 8 channels of power, but with 12 channels of DSP built in. Now, with that amplifier, you could use channels 1 through 4 to power the tweeter, the mid-range, and then you could bridge 5 and 6, 7 and 8 through mid-bass, thus doubling the power and giving that 2-to-1 power rating that I personally really love. but you're only using 8 DSP channels. You have 14 built into it, which means you have 6 more DSP channels. They make secondary amplifiers you can buy. They make a 4-channel, a 6-channel, and a mono block, or you can use anybody's because it's just RC outputs that if you wanted to do rear, if you wanted to do sub, they have a 1,000-watt mono block that you can add. But you have 6 more channels of DSP to go out to, which makes things pretty awesome. You also have the new Moscone 6 to 10. That's a 6-channel amplifier, perfect for what you're trying to do, with 10 channels of DSP. So you have 4 more channels of DSP out, which means if you want to do rear, sub, and center, you could do that. You could also do that with the Forza. And then you also have Helix. Helix makes the M600?
M6 or
M6.
M8.
Yeah, well, it's an M6. They make a 6-channel DSP amplifier that has 2 extra channels.
That's the V.
No, it's not the V.
Is the M?
The M is a 6-channel. Yep. No, they make an M that is a 6-channel with 4 extra RC outputs for DSP. So it's basically a 10-channel DSP. They also make 2 matching sub-amps for that. So pretty much all the high-end guys have that. As well as we talked about ARC a minute ago. ARC has the Blackbird, which is right there, which is AR compatible. Out of the list that we gave you, ARC and Forza are the only 2 that are AR compatible, but this is an 8-channel amplifier with 4 channels of DSP out. So pick a brand. They're all there now. Question, can you wire up AudioControl D1300 and an LC 6100 to a GMC Denali with Bose 9 speakers? I think I kind of just answered some of that, but the D1300 only has a stereo set of outputs. That's it. They have nothing else. The LC 6100 doesn't have a DSP in it at all. So I don't know what you're trying to do, but if you were trying to do something like that, you'd want to do an 810, the DM810, and you'd want to do an LC 51300 and the LC 61200 to get full capability. Otherwise, no, it's not going to. But there again, the 810 only has 8 channels of input, whereas if you need 9 channels of input, it's really not going to be the right piece. So I guess all in all, the answer to this question would be no. Unless you're just trying to do speaker for speaker and you're cool with the Bose DSP, which you might be. You might be, because you could just bypass the subwoofer and go directly into the sub input on the LC 51300. But you would have no way to fix it, so I probably wouldn't do that either. Yeah. Bigger DSP. Now, one of the cool things about the Forza amplifiers is that like the 8-channel is capable of 12 channels input. They have an expansion module that goes into the side of the amplifier that will give you more channels of input. It's pretty crazy. Some of this stuff is getting pretty sophisticated, guys. It's not as easy as just going on to Crutchfield and ordering some cool stuff and being like, hey, can you put this in my car? And we go, no, we can't. No, it's not a good idea. I wish AudioControl would let you adjust the parametric EQ over all output channels simultaneously instead of by individual channels. You want a global EQ is what you're asking for. You want something that's global. So there again, there are DSPs out there that have global EQ adjustment, as well as there are DSPs out there that give you the ability to select which channels you'd like to adjust the EQ on. That's called grouping. AudioControl does not have that feature as of yet. The only thing you can do is if you start out as, channel 1 and 2 as pairs, 3 and 4 as pairs, you can do them. You can leave them that way, but as soon as you separate them, you cannot bring them back together. So it does not have group equalization adjust or global adjustment. It's something that we'd like them to eventually add to it, but it's a pretty big thing. Yeah. What amps take 40 volts input, neglecting or not use? Yeah, no LOC. The AudioControl. The AudioControls do
high level.
Yeah, I'd have to look. Honestly, that's like 40 is a lot, and there's only like a handful of cars that actually have it. So like they're mainly German. I would have to, or European.
Yeah.
I'd have to. Sorry, didn't mean to do that, but I'd have to look because I know a lot of them now are 20 volts of input, which is really pretty good.
Up to 20 volts.
Yeah. All right, this.
Yeah, never worked.
No, I don't know. I'm hoping it did. I gotta go into that folder. It's still stuck in.
Yeah.
All right, so it should be this one. Let's see if it opens. Ooh. I think it opened. Enable all pass filters. Ooh, yeah. Okay, output. Oh, look at that. Let's see if it'll go full screen.
All right, before you go to that one.
No, go ahead. Do your thing. I'm just setting this up.
Dean.
Yes.
I asked this before, but I wasn't seeing if I could get a little bit more detailed explanation on regards to what track to use to set the output sensitivity on the kicker KEYLOC, not the key amplifier.
Right. So the key amp the KEYLOC has tracks that you have to play. That's it. Like they do a really good job of walking you through. You have to do step 1, you have to do step 2, you have to do step 3. You have to use their tracks. There's no back. So you're not necessarily worried about that. But once you get it set up and you're looking at the output voltage, at that point it's the same. So once you've got it set up, you can, and you've got everything working the way it's supposed to, you can then do like the Tony D gain train, where it's like you just go to the end of the line and you play your test tone. It would be 1,000 or 40 hertz. But I think what I was trying to answer at the time was you have to follow the setup exactly with their tracks to get to that point. And
now,
then,
if you're not getting the light, I mean, it's something went wrong, and you have to repeat it again.
Right, because it has input and it has output. So the idea is to keep it as low as humanly possible, but once you've got it all set up and you get all the lights all across the board and you get the blinkies and everything's telling you what it's supposed to do, the signal out of it then should be as flat as possible. We would check it with an RTA just to make sure. Then you're going to go off into your amplifier. So from that point, if you have a DD1, you watch Tony D'Amore's gain train video, you're not going to touch that input RTA ever again, or I'm sorry, that input gain, my bad. You can adjust the output gain or sensitivity if you want. But you can go all the way to the end of the amplifier, play your 2 test tones, because at that point, the signal, like I said, should be as flat as possible. Does that make sense? But you have to follow the instructions to get to that point. After that, you can set it up just like a normal system. So there are 3 test tracks to get there. Input, output, set any way you like.
Yep.
Who's Stu?
Huh?
Oh, Stu's.
Stu.
Oh. See you later, Stu. You're going to miss the best part. When running input signal analyzer, ISA, on the Helix DSP, do you have to put your radio level baseband treble 0? Yes. Always set to flat. All right. Hold on. Let me pull this up.
Go ahead.
Okay, this is 2. All right, so we talked about this quite a bit. While we were talking, I went and loaded in the software for the AudioControl. And what we wanted to look at is those parametric EQs. When you're down here in the bottom, it gives you the option to do the 30 band that you've always done. For some reason, they have this, which doesn't make any sense, and they know that. And that's part of the beta, is they're hopefully going to do away with that altogether. And we have the parametric EQ. For those of you that have never seen a parametric EQ, you can obviously go down and download this and play with it. The nice thing about this is this gives you the ability to move this frequency wherever you want. So when you're looking at your RTA, if you have a problem, you can just move it to that problem. The other thing you could do is, if you're looking at your RTA and you can see what frequency it is, you can highlight it down here on the bottom, and let's say you type in 850, it'll automatically move it to 850. Over here is your slider for Q. This is one of the things that I'm hoping they'll fix in the beta. As you can see, like over here, it acts kind of like you go all the way up to 26, 30. No one's ever going to do that. You're never going to make that band. So kind of hoping at some point they adjust this. That's on my wish list of things. But now if I bring this up, you'll see this bump here that appears, this. And as I narrow the Q, see how the bump got more narrow. That means it's not affecting as much of the left and right frequency. A lot of people are familiar with punch bass. So if you wanted to emulate like a punch bass feature, punch bass is centered at 45 hertz. So you come down here and you can widen out the Q. Don't go too crazy. And their volume control, you can go up to 18 dBs in some cases, which is higher than this. This only gives you the ability to do 12. So that's going to give you like a punch bass. And you can see why punch bass really adds that boomy effect is because it's dragging in a lot of those frequencies to the left and right of it. Now, if you were going to adjust the treble, and let's say the treble was kind of annoying, where usually it's annoying in between the 6.8 to 8,000, somewhere in this area here. We can just bring this down. And if we want to affect more of those frequencies, we can widen it out. And we've made one adjustment, and we can sit here and move left a little bit. Oh, that shifts. We can move left, we can move right, and that will bring all of those frequencies down at once. And the opposite is true too. So let's say you have all your gains super low, and you're like, oh, I'm going to break the law. You can, let's say you're running a middler. That would just be a mid-range with no tweeter. And you're like, man, I really wish it had more tweeter sound because it's a middler and it's not a tweeter. I can do something like this. And it's not a high shelf, but it's closer to a high shelf than just trying to adjust 30 bands of equalization where I got to sit here and I got to do this, like this, and I got to do that. And it's like, So in order to reproduce what I just did with one band, I have to move all of these bands to do that. Whereas if I just went here, as you can see, now this is a demo version of this. So when you actually have it hooked up to the DSP, you can't do what I just did because it will only let you run one or the other. It won't let you run both. So as you can see, parametric can be super fun and a lot easier because I can do one adjustment and make a ton of adjustments as opposed to that. Parametric EQs. There you go. All right, let me close this before it drives things crazy. Unless there's any questions about it.
No.
Okay.
Yes. Well,
okay.
No. I'm sorry. No.
No? Okay. Will AudioControl LC2I sufficient for a 22 Honda Accord Sport SE to connect factory deck with 2 amps?
2 amps, no. It's an LC2. It's not even an LC2I. I mean LC2I Pro. I'm sorry.
So an LC2I has. Let me shut this off. An LC2I has a single set of inputs and 4 outputs. Mm-hmm. One pair of those outputs is connected to Acubase, and the other pair is just a pass-through output. The problem with the Honda is it a base model Honda or premium audio Honda? If it's a premium audio Honda, I mean it has a center and a sub, no. You're not even in the ballpark. That's got you need at least 6 channels of at least 6 channels, but the car actually has
10 channels.
11 channels. 10? Yeah, 11. It's 4 more. 10 channels. Has 10 channels of power coming in. And the base model has front and rear only, which is fine. So the rear has delay factored into it from the factory. So there again, it's you got to keep in mind, guys, these new factory radios are EQ'd and DSP'd. They're not just basic 1990 radios anymore. So if you're not going to be doing DSP, if your goal in this is to just make it louder, do yourself a favor, get the LC7i. At least get the LC7i so that you can have front, rear, and the adjustment for sub. The new LC5i Pro isn't out yet, but that would also be the minimum you would need to do something like this. Like, if you're not going to be adding a DSP to it, you're going to be relying on the factory sound to make it best. So try to give it everything you can, because you don't want the same effects that are done to the front output done in the rear speakers that you're adding. So, tag the rear speakers to power the rear speakers. Now, as far as do you need an LC2i or an LC7i? Yeah, sure. Why not? However, depending on the amplifiers you're buying, like if you bought AudioControl amplifiers, they already have these things built into them. Most amplifiers will take up to 10 volts of input from high level in. The Honda base model radio doesn't have more than, it's like 8 volts of output. That's it. So you can do high level directly into most aftermarket amplifiers. So yeah, there's where you're at. Hope that kind of helps a little bit. I have a Jeep JL and want to add a kicker hideaway powered enclosure HS8, but want to keep factory radio. What can I do? Not do that.
No.
It's not going to give you any bass, man. It's not on a JL. And I don't think that's going to fit underneath that seat either. That seat is tight. If you want to put bass in that vehicle, the easy, like actual bass, like, oh my gosh, I'm going to put bass in this car. For one, the factory JL, you're going to need some form of de-equalization on that factory radio because it has bass roll-off. It has bass EQ. It does not put out bass, all right? The factory sucks. So our basic system for a Jeep, like if you come in and you ask me this question, I'm going to sell you a Key 500.1 that I can tuck up into the dash and hide out of the way. And that'll de-EQ my factory system. And then I'm going to sell you either the Stinger box for the back door that just bolts to the back door, has a 12-inch subwoofer in it. Sounds great. Or I'm going to sell you a downfiring enclosure that just sits on the floor in the back in there again. Sounds great. That little thing that you're talking about, not going to work in a Jeep. You need some air encapsulation in order to get sound from that. And it also has to be screwed to the frame of the car, like screwed in. It might fit underneath the back seat, but the back seat will never go down again because it's going to take up that room. So it's not the right thing for Jeep at all. Hi guys from the Netherlands, bought an 8-inch Ground Zero. What? Yeah, you good?
Yeah.
Okay. And wow, it slams. Yes, it does. Yeah. You have the 6.5 still.
I got the 6.5.
We had the 8-inch, but we have this. We have the 6.5. We kept the 6.5. We gave the 8-inch away.
That was pretty cool. That was neat.
False alarm. We're all good. Okay. What is he asking here? Hello. Museway ML6.2C.
Well, he asked first in the top. What DSP would you recommend for that setup?
200 watts RMS and a Toyota Corolla hybrid. Yeah. I mean, I honestly, I'm not familiar with that particular amplifier. Anytime you're integrating into a factory stereo, first thing you need to do is obviously find out, is there any type of integration available to it, whether it be an Amp Pro, an AR, Zen Audio, Metra. So find out if somebody and if nobody makes anything for the car, you have to figure out what channels do I want to amplify. Okay, so if it's a premium audio system, like it's got 10 channels of audio, that means if you're going to integrate into it, and especially if it has a center channel, you need to count. So if I have 4 active channels up front and a center and a sub, that's a minimum of 6 channels I'm going to need to integrate into that. And that's just saying I'm not going to do anything with the rear. If I want to include the rear, I need 10 channels of capability. A lot of these DSPs are 8 to 10, which means they don't have enough channels to do what we're doing. When we say front stage upgrade, like in the Honda Accord premium audio systems, we use 6 channels of input because we grab center, sub, and the 4 front speakers. If you're doing a base model car that only has front and rear, that makes things a little bit easier, obviously, because you're just going to need front and rear. So 4 channels of input. Then you decide, what do I want to do to this car to make it sound better? So, for example, if you actually want to throw, let's say, a basic DSP in there. If you buy a Toyota, there isn't a basic DSP on the planet that can fix that. Like, you're like, if I'm going to do time delay, I'm going to do all. No, you're not, because your basic DSP isn't capable of dealing with the headache that is in there from the factory. That's not saying go out and buy the most expensive DSP you can. At that point, what you're going to want to do is put a kicker KEYLOC in there, because when there's no adapters for anything, you can use a KEYLOC to DEQ the system, meaning get rid of the all-pass filters, get rid of the phase problems. If it has some form of delay already in there, it'll take care of all these things. All right, so then you'll get 2 channels, a very clean output that you can then put your DSP on and move on from there. If you're like, I don't want to get involved with the DSP, I don't want to do any of that stuff, well, that's where AudioControl still makes the DQ61 and the LCQ1, which are just analog EQs. And those are global. I mean, if you make an adjustment for front, it's all of front. Make an adjustment for rear, it's all of rear. And that's a really nice way to improve upon it and make it sound better, because you're not getting into the delay and all this other nonsense. So, you know, it's on a newer car, it's getting harder and harder to just go out and buy stuff. Fernando had a customer come in this week, and he was like, hey, man, I bought all this stuff because it was on sale. And we're like, we can't use any of it. Like, you don't have the car that this stuff will work in, you know? 5-channel amps. I always get ridiculed when I ask manufacturers for 5-channel amps. Oh, no, it's like, no, it's not for front, rear, and sub. It's for front stage upgrade and sub. Because in that car that has a premium audio system or doesn't, I can put a 5-channel amp in as long as it doesn't have a center channel, and I can manipulate the sound to get it to sound great and add a subwoofer. So yeah, it's exciting.
So do your research, guys, right?
Or, you know, just ask us a bunch of questions and we'll try to get as much of it right as we can.
There you go. That's what they're asking.
What is the best wiring harness to add an amp to a factory radio, 8-inch, 2004 GMC Sierra without Bose? Awesome. MetroOnline.com has your harness all set, ready to go. They just came out with a fresh line of harnesses. And if they don't have them, pack-audio.com also sells this harness. So both those manufacturers will have those harnesses. If you can get a part number, you can find the harness. And if you can't find a harness locally, give Paul a call, 727-216-6170. You can find it on the website. Give Paul a call and he'll ship it out to you. It has nothing to do with us. It's just, you know, he'll do that. So yeah, there you go.
All right.
Are spare tire subs any good? I have an Audi Q5 with a 10-inch speaker, with a 10-speaker system with the ATS and AM.
With the STS.
Yeah, that's what I said. Looking to replace it. What would you recommend for bass without taking up all the trunk space? Oddly enough, if you go over and watch Instagram today, we just put the 11-inch Diamond Audio spare tire sub in Haley's car to review, which will be we filmed and we'll be editing here soon.
Mm-hmm.
It has a 500-watt amp on it, and damn, it's pretty impressive. So if you head over to Instagram on 5-Star Car Stereo,
number 5,
Star Car Stereo, we had a lot of fun with it. You can check that out. There obviously are some size parameters that have to be there, but damn,
rock.
Yeah, it was cool. There's no doubt about it.
That's for sure.
I think that's it, man. That takes us to an hour.
Wow, really?
Yeah. Well, it was a busy show. It was a busy show. We covered a lot of information. Thank you guys for playing along and asking great questions. Fernando. Oh my God, Jesus.
Yeah. Financing.
That's what I was going to say. Fernando answered them all so eloquently. Just ran into your buddy Jeff Smith in Dallas yesterday.
Nice.
He was so kind. Do you guys? Do you have a suggestion for an infinite baffle speaker? No.
Yeah.
No, I don't. Yeah. Brian was there too. They're all out there in Dallas.
Yeah, competition, right? What's that? Great show, guys. Thank
No,
you. No,
Dean
thank
said
you.
Dean didn't say STS. No, I didn't. I said ATS. I know it. ATA.
ATS.
I know what I said.
ATS. Yeah.
It's all part of the fun, guys. It's all part of the fun. I'm thinking beef stir fry for dinner. I like chicken stir fry. Obviously chicken stir fry. I can do vegetable stir fry too. I like just stir fry is yummy.
If we didn't answer you your question, I apologize. We can try this on Monday again at 6:30. Facebook and
two things. ATST all the way. Good call. And ARC 10-inch is great for infinite baffle.
There you go.
That says ATA. So
There you go.
You can call him at Absolute Electronics in Rockville, Maryland.
He can talk about infinite baffle.
Absolute Electronics in Rockville, Maryland.
He's an absolute.
He's an absolute for sure. You guys have been awesome. Thank you much for playing along. We'll be back Monday to answer more questions, as Fernando just said. You can always find us over on Instagram, chatting it up. It's also a really great place to ask questions. If you're not on Instagram and you're like, man, these guys never answer my questions. Well, get on Instagram. We answer questions there all the time. We answer, and then we rebroadcast them on Monday so that everyone gets their oh my God, I asked that question. Yay. That's it. That's all we got. We hope you guys we hope you guys have a spectacular weekend. It's Saturday night. Woo! Let's get this party started. It's only 7:00. It's still daylight out. Life is good. You guys go out and have a wonderful weekend, and we will see you back here Monday.
It's true.
It's true?
That's true. We're going to see you on Monday, guys.
If all goes well and we don't do anything too crazy. See ya.